Loving It, and King's Restaurants. Always open, always local, and serving up favorites for over 40 years.
Starting now on Primetime, almost a month after a man from Manila was shot and killed, his family continues to seek answers. Plus, Sabrina Salas Matanani recaps the congressional address and gets reaction from island leaders. And we've got the latest on minority members, with the House of Representatives submitting a request to look into the CNMI governor's expenses. Hafade, and good evening to everybody streaming us right now on Facebook. And our top story tonight, the family of a man shot to death over in Manila is looking for answers, and they say they are not getting any almost a month after Juan Uggan was murdered. Here's more.
It's really tragic because they took away a father for these three boys. They took away my brother, my mom's son, and he's the youngest in our family.
My son was an altar boy, a football player, a baseball player, a very kind-hearted person. I just don't understand how it got to this, where somebody hated him so much to just go to our house and shoot him with a shotgun.
Juan Uggan's family is still searching for answers. He was gunned down in front of his Manila home at 2 a.m. on December 11th. We asked Juan's mother, Sonia Villagomez Uggan, and his sister, Nadine Uggan Valino, to take us back to the day he was killed.
The day that my son died, we came from Naval Hospital. We were there for 5 hours sitting in the emergency room to find out that my son was already dead. And then they said he was in custody of GPD. That's why. And we couldn't see him. So that even hurt us more because we were waiting there. And then they took us to a room, gave us a box of Kleenex, and told us that, I'm sorry, your son is gone, but you cannot see him.
Both women say the first time they saw Juan after he was shot at a family viewing on December 27th, more than 2 weeks after he was murdered. And it isn't just his siblings and mother who are missing Juan Uggan. His 3 sons are also struggling to make sense of what happened.
And of course, it's very heartful for his kids, and trying to explain to this one too of how his dad cannot hold him, how he cannot carry him or talk to him is the hardest thing because, you know, these kids left their father.
They also say they haven't heard much from the Guam Police Department.
It's going on 4 weeks. So January 11 will be 1 month since my brother's death, and we haven't heard anything.
I want the police department to give us some feedback, to tell us what's going on or what are they doing to try and solve this case.
Police say the case is still under investigation, but the family says they're concerned not enough is being done by the administration and senators to address crime and public safety. Juan Uggan's sister calling out Adelupe's new public safety plan for being too little, too late.
By the end of 2020, they're going to hire 100 people. It's too late. What about that criminal investigation department? If they're understaffed, why can't they pull some federal people in, or the FBI, to help solve these crimes? Hey, what are we going to do, wait until more people are dying? Come on, they need to step up.
As police continue to look for leads in the case, the family reaching out for help. They tell KUAM the suspect was seen riding away from the scene on a light-colored moped or scooter. They say surveillance video from their home was taken by police, but they tell us it showed Juan smoking a cigarette outside of his house. He walks outside of the camera's view, and as he was walking back towards the house, he was shot in the back.
Anybody that knows anything about what happened that night to my brother, please come forward.
The family fears with GPD's staffing shortages, Juan Uggan's murder could become a cold case.
I only have 2 sons, and being that he's the youngest, putting him with his dad in the ground was the most painful thing for me. It's not supposed to be the kids being buried. They should bury me first before them, but I'm burying my son, and he's the first one to go. And that's the most painful thing anybody can ever go through, and I don't wish it on anybody else. That's why they have to find the killer.
If you have any information that can help crack this case, call GPD Dispatch at 472-8911 or leave a tip at guam.crimestoppersweb.com.
In other island news headlines, facing rape and murder charges for the 2018 death of Timika Nauta, Brandon Acosta appeared in Superior Court Judge Vern Perez's courtroom today. And although his trial was set to begin on January the 15th, a stipulation was agreed upon by both parties. The trial is now scheduled for the 17th of February. Defense attorney William Pohl, meanwhile, requested the government submit its witness list by the end of the month. Acosta has pleaded not guilty. And we have more from Superior Court as Guam National Guard recruiter Jason Siswico's attorney told Judge Maria Senzon They're considering combining his two cases. Siswika was indicted for raping a 17-year-old girl in September twice, and then in October he was indicted again for committing the same offense on a 12-year-old girl back in March and August. He faces charges of criminal sexual conduct as a first-degree felony and a pair of counts of second-degree criminal sexual conduct as a first-degree felony. The judge scheduled further proceedings for February the 4th. Well, a Guam Police Department officer once detailed to executive security at Government House, 49-year-old Ryan Shimizu, has been indicted for theft of property lost or mislaid as a felony, theft as a misdemeanor, and official misconduct as a misdemeanor. On November 14th, Shimizu took a man's wallet and stole over $500 as well as a credit card. He's no longer with the force. Shimizu's next court hearing is on the 22nd. Well, elsewhere, there may be a resolution before trial for Johnny Atalig, one of the two escapees from the halfway house. He appeared in Judge Shenzon's courtroom this afternoon, and according to attorney William Bischoff, there could be an agreement reached. In addition, Bischoff told the court he sent a stipulation back in December for Atalig's personal belongings to the halfway house to be turned over to his daughter and is yet to receive a response from the AG's office. The government told the court that they would look into it. Trial has been set for September 16th. Well, also appearing in Judge Senzon's courtroom this afternoon was Patrick Hernandez, the man who escaped from DOC's Hagåtña detention facility last November. His attorney, Pete Santos, made an oral motion for withdrawal as the office and the alternate public defender discovered a conflict of interest with the case. Santos told the court many potential witnesses named by Hernandez are current clients. The court granted the motion and appointed attorney Sam Tecker for the case. A return was scheduled for February 7th. Elsewhere, the internal investigations into both of the DEPCOR escapee incidents are ongoing as the investigation is currently being conducted by GPD on Johnny Atalig and Johnny Del Rosario, who escaped for the halfway house back in October. In addition, GPD is looking into Patrick Hernandez's escape from the Hagåtña detention facility in November. According to DOC spokesperson Major Anton Uggen, GPD continues to work on finalizing the reports and expects to receive results before the end of the month.
I don't know specific. I do know they've interviewed a lot of people, officers, all the officers in the housing unit and stuff. But I don't know. I haven't been privy to all the people they've questioned. But I know it's been a lot. There's been a lot of employees questioned. We're just waiting for GPD to finish their investigation, and then once the director has the report, then he'll make a decision to determine what course of action, if any, is necessary.
Uggen says currently there are 10 officers assigned to the halfway house, all of which have been interviewed by the Guam Police Department. Let's move to federal court matters now, as trial has been moved up to as early as next week for William Matanonia. This comes after both parties presented their exhibits and witness list to the chief judge. Assistant U.S. Attorney Rosetta San Nicolas told the court they intend to have 16 call sessions as evidence, and the remaining exhibits will be transcripts of investigation reports and photos. As for the defense, Attorney Bill Gavris plans to have 5 exhibits of his own. In addition, during the morning hearing, the court granted the government's request for the defense counsel to receive grand jury transcripts. Matanonia faces obstruction of justice charges along with his brother, former GPD officer Boom Matanonia, and former juror Greg Tekenko. They're accused of conspiring to influence the jury to vote not guilty in the Raymond and Juanita Martinez drug trial case. Matanonia's trial was scheduled for the 15th of this month. While calling for local leaders to repeal Bill 181 signed into law last week by the governor, announcing the creation of a Congressional Veterans Advisory Council and professing his support for the military buildup, were just some of several issues discussed in Congressman Michael San Nicolas' first congressional address.
Since taking office, it's been no secret Congressman Michael San Nicolas has been critical of local leaders. So if you were expecting him to take aim during his congressional address, that didn't exactly happen.
My initial temptation was to use this day as an opportunity to engage the hostility that we have faced over the past year with equally veiled hostility. But we are not going to do that. Instead, we will begin by saying, peace be with you.
For 2 hours, the congressman recapped bills he's introduced in Congress, such as H.R. 208, which would extend the Supplemental Security Income Program to all eligible recipients in Guam, H.R. 1713 to compensate military veterans for Agent Orange exposure on Guam, and H.R. 1365 to correct technical errors to pay out war claims. With the enactment of Local War Claims Payout Bill 181 into law, the congressman said while setting aside an additional $14 million in local funds for a local war claims plan is admirable, it just presents unnecessary risk to the current process. Instead, the congressman asked local leaders to repeal 181 and instead use the money for the Chamorro Land Trust Commission.
Many of our families waiting for war claims are also waiting for their Chamorro Land Trust lands. And $14 million in local funds is enough to survey all the lands for everyone waiting, 9,000 people and their families. Senators, Governor, working together, we can make this new year, 2020, the year we pay war claims and distribute Chamorro Land Trust lands.
Aside from H.R. 1365, the congressman also touted his accomplishment in serving in the coveted A-list House Committee on Financial Services, and thus Guam has risen to be an A-list player. St. Nicholas also announced the first formal creation of a Congressional Veterans Advisory Council, of which will be spearheaded by local veteran John Annaninch.
This entity shall be a registered nonprofit organization dedicated to aligning congressional findings and resources with concrete solutions to the struggles of all of our veterans.
On the military buildup, the congressman said that while he agrees that the net military occupation of land should not increase and that excess land should be returned, he is firmly convinced that the presence of the military on Guam is vital to the protection of our way of life.
Folks, I've seen in high-level briefings the force projections. China is not messing around.
During his address, the congressman acknowledged a few senators such as James Moylan, Mary Torres, Clint Rigel, as well as Senator Therese Terlahi. He also acknowledged the Republican Party of Guam for their efforts in seeking support for H.R. 1365. Throughout his address, the congressman played video clips of his various moments during his first year in office. KUAM spoke with newly appointed Minority Leader Senator Tello Taitagui and former Congressman Robert Underwood.
I guess the biggest elephant in the room, though, was a question as to the allegations that were made toward him on ethics issues as well as the campaign funds. Many people want to know what's going on, and for him to completely disregard those accusations, the people of Guam need to know what's going on. We're supposed to trust our congressman, but it wasn't to fruition. And I'm just really surprised that, especially when there was a report that was put out recently about his attendance in Congress, is staggering. I'm surprised even he had video footage to show, considering that came out.
He had a lot of pretty interesting ideas, but of course he still hasn't passed a bill. And 1365 still hasn't passed. He spent more money than any other delegate. He was the first delegate to introduce a bill in Congress, but the last delegate to speak on the floor. And I'm just waiting for some action. There's just nothing yet. There's nothing that has actually been achieved. He slapped himself so much in the back, I thought he broke his arm. But no, I shouldn't have said that. Basically, the speech was, he should be congratulated for being on an exclusive committee. But that committee's only been exclusive for about 2 or 3 terms. But what is important is not that he's on the exclusive committee, what has he done with it?
According to GovTrack.us, from January 2019 to December of last year, Congressman St. Nicholas missed 152 of 291 roll call votes. He sponsored 10 bills. All but one, H.R. 1365, made it out of committee. Additionally, according to the website, all 10 bills show about a 3% chance of being enacted.
How confident are you that any of your bills will be enacted?
Well, the probability of us passing the House when we first introduced 1365 was about 9%. We passed the House. The probability of us passing the Senate is about 21%. So the key to understanding the value of your representation isn't in what websites tell you, it's in the outcomes. And if we're able to get things passed with such odds stacked against us, that just speaks to the value of the representation.
The website tracks the status of federal legislation as well as information about the voting records of members in Congress, oversight, as well as investigations.
Any final message to the people of Guam?
It's just so good to be home. DC is so cold. I'm an island boy and I'm so happy to be here.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Sabrina Salas, Matanani.
And if you didn't have an opportunity to watch the address live, you can catch it right now on the Guam Legislature's YouTube channel, and we will broadcast it next week starting on the 12th, beginning at 11 a.m. on GNN and TV1, those channels on those respective networks, and you can also find the link on our Facebook page. Well, in reaction to the delegate's speech, the governor says they will not ask any survivor to wait a day more than necessary, adding no one should pit Chamorro Land Trust recipients against our island's beloved elderly. Quote, "We are all better than that," she says. The governor also hopes the congressman would provide information on the situation in the Middle East, quoting her, "With so many of Guam's sons and daughters deployed to a region of the world in the midst of escalating conflict with Iran, We hope for an update on how this conflict might impact them, their families, and their loved ones. Like the congressman, she says, the governor called on both leaders to work together for the good of our people. Now, speaking of international matters, the U.S. is bracing for Iran's next move as the nation ends 3 days of mourning for a top military general. An estimating 1 million people filed the streets of Tehran Monday for a public funeral procession calling for revenge. Here's more from the White House.
Hundreds of thousands of Iranians surrounded the vehicle carrying the casket of General Qasem Soleimani, vowing to retaliate against the U.S. for killing the military commander. President Trump told Rush Limbaugh Soleimani should have been taken out a long time ago.
We had a shot at it and we took him out. And we're a lot safer now because of it. Now, we'll see what happens. We'll see what the response is, if any.
With the period of mourning for Soleimani ending, a U.S. defense official tells CBS News the next 24 to 36 hours could reveal whether Iran intends to make good on its threats. Over the weekend, Iran took another step to pull back from the international agreement to limit its nuclear program. The president warned that the U.S. could hit Iranian cultural sites if Iran attacks. As leaders around the world appeal for calm, Democratic lawmakers are demanding more details be released about the decision to take out Soleimani.
I've become increasingly alarmed about the strike, a strike that was carried out with insufficient transparency, without consultation of Congress, and without a clear plan for what comes next.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and Senator Bob Menendez of New Jersey sent this letter to President Trump asking him to immediately declassify the administration's reasoning for last week's airstrike.
Can we not at least wait until we know the facts? Can we not maintain a shred, just a shred, of national unity for 5 minutes?
With thousands of U.S. troops headed to the Middle East, the House of Representatives says it's working on a war powers resolution to limit the president's military actions regarding Iran.
A primary concern remains Iran's ballistic missiles, but so far they have not been moved into firing positions. EU foreign ministers plan to hold an emergency meeting on Iran in Brussels later this week. Well, please stay tuned, everybody, because we'll get back to more Guam news headlines when Primetime continues.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now. Attention Guam business owners. Green Energy Solutions would like to help you save on your power bill. We supply various LED lighting, energy-efficient air conditioners, solar thermal VRF systems, and solar panels. You can count on our product warranty and quick turnaround and immediate response service. GESI has saved other local businesses over 80% off their power. Call us to see how much we can save your business. Call us today at 647-8111 or visit gesiguam.com for more information.
It makes myself and it makes my team members very proud to work for an organization that has been on island for many years with its focus on reliability, dependability, and commitment to the communities that they operate in.
Matson's a great corporate citizen to the community.
We all benefit from any sort of environmental commitment we make. One of the ways that we do that is with our Adahi Utano program. There's action behind it, and so action breeds commitment.
With the Kaimana Hila coming to Guam, this brings a new age and modernization to the island.
It's exciting for me because it's a brand new ship and we can carry more freight into the islands. It just shows growth for Guam and Micronesia.
Matson would be nothing without its customers, and we hope to continue to serve you for decades to come.
Half the day, I'm in the club.
Half a day, welcome to Two Lovers Point.
Half the day, I'm in the club.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
Welcome back to Primetime, everybody. Minority members with the House of Representatives submitted an Open Government Act request to the Office of Finance on the CNMI Governor Ralph Torres' expenses. This comes after multiple receipts were made public presenting excessive spending. It was requested for an extension to January the 6th, and the deadline hasn't been met.
On December 10th, the 6 minority members of the CNMI House of Representatives sent a unified statement requesting the Speaker of the House of Representatives, B.J. Attow, to appoint a special investigative committee
to look into allegations of public corruption, fraud, waste, and abuse of public funds. And attached to that letter were a number of documents.
Documents that include federal court records of the search warrant conducted on CNMI Governor Ralph Torres, the FBI's receipt for property, and also attached were receipts submitted to members of the legislature by a number of concerned citizens. These were documents that were publicized following a release of sealed federal court documents. CNMI House of Representative and Minority Member Tina Sablan tells KUAM that during the House session, a debate ensued and ultimately Speaker Attow did not appoint a special investigative committee, but rather referred the records submitted to his office to 2 committees for review, the House Committee on Ways and Means and the Committee on Judiciary and Governmental Operations. Sablan sits on the House Committee on Ways and Means and says they have met and reviewed the initial set of records. Sablan also submitted additional records
that have come to light since December 10, since that session. And then I also submitted an Open Government Act request that the minority members filed with the Department of Finance seeking all the records that have to do with the governor's official representation, reimbursements, travel, any first-class travel for any person funded, that has been funded by the Commonwealth government, as well as housing and utilities allowances. So all these different types of expenses that have come under scrutiny, we asked for all of that, and we also asked Finance to provide records that detail the policies that govern whether or not taxpayers should be paying for these.
This includes a nearly $30,000 first-class trip Governor Torres and his wife, First Lady Diane Torres, took in December 2018, less than 2 months after Super Typhoon Yutu devastated the island.
This all came from the Commonwealth government. We did ask, part of our request, our Open Government Act request to Finance was also for a listing of all the government accounts that have been charged for all these different expenses.
KUAM was on the island grounds and requested an interview with Governor Torres. However, according to Public Information Officer for the Office of the Governor, Kevin Bautista, the governor was unavailable. The Office of Finance requested an extension, and Sablan says members of the minority went to the Office of Finance to inspect the records they have gathered thus far.
And there were stacks and stacks of records just pertaining to the governor's travel, and all of it, from what we could see so far, has been first class.
CNMI law is clear that first class travel is not allowed to be paid for by the Commonwealth government. And it's not just the House minority members speaking out. One CNMI Senator, Paul Manglona, says shortly after the FBI raids on the governor's office, his house, and brother's law firm, there has been growing distrust and a discontent feeling amongst the public.
With all of this combined with the super typhoon hardship, the 72-hour austerity work schedule for the government, people screaming, what is the legislature doing? What are we doing? And so this is tough on all of us. And so that's why in our last session, I supported the minority members' call for an investigation. I think just like in 2012 when the legislature impeached former ex-governor Fitel, that they should also step in today with all these alleged allegations of corruption, fraud, and abuse of public funds.
The extension deadline for the Open Government Act request was January 6th. According to Sablan, the Office of Finance has asked for another extension of 15 days and told the minority members, quote, they have been bombarded by multiple requests for a lot of the same records, end quote, as Finance is manually searching through boxes of paper records to ultimately provide hard copies. The minority members agreed, and the deadline is set for January 22nd. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
Back to Guam News headlines. Calling the legislation public service and not public employment, Guam Senator James Moylan has introduced Bill 265 to make the legislature a part-time legislative body. The policymaker says the bill not only provides savings but also removes many ceremonial aspects of the position so that lawmakers may focus on more policy versus optics. He introduced the bill on the first anniversary of the inauguration of the 35th legislature. Well, there is a new Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Guam as the judiciary has announced the election of Associate Justice Phil Carbolito to serve as Chief Justice. With his election, Carbolito becomes the first justice to serve 4 terms as Chief Justice. He replaces Catherine Merriman, and she will continue to serve as Associate Justice of the High Court. In this new decade, he says, there will be many changes to the Guam Judicial Center and ambitious plans to support the growing needs of our community. Justice earned his law degree from UC Davis before his appointment on the bench in 2002. He served as attorney in private practice. He'll be sworn in on January 21st. Well, the second of a town hall public safety meeting in Jonya is still on for tonight at 7 p.m. at the Jonya Community Gym. Although Vice Speaker Tinlina Nelson called for the meetings, she won't be on hand. The Vice Speaker is off island tending to a personal matter that came up unexpectedly, according to her office. Senator Amanda Shelton will host the meeting tonight. And after the first town hall, Nelson introduced a bill calling for the recall of jailed Jonya Mayor Jesse Blas. Blas has been behind bars since his September arraignment, and he'll be detained until his trial in February. He faces, of course, charges of bribery and extortion relative to his alleged scheme to help drug traffickers ship meth to cluster mailboxes that he had control of. And also tonight, another Guam lawmaker has introduced legislation relative to the leaderless village of Jonya. Senator Pito Terlahi, a former 3-term mayor of that village, introduced a bill essentially allowing the governor to appoint an acting mayor with the advice of the Municipal Planning Council and confirmation by the legislature. Mayor Blas, of course, has been behind bars, as I said, awaiting trial in the district court next month. He is accused of extortion once again and accepting bribes from a confidential informant posing as a drug trafficker. Blas has pleaded not guilty to those charges. The mayor never appointed a council, although law mandates that all villagers have one. Senator Terlahi acknowledges the timing of his bill, but says it can address a vacancy for any reason. Now, the Mayor's Council of Guam has received word that former Agate Vice Mayor Jesse S. Pendon passed away Sunday night. He served Agate from October 1996 through January of 1997 after being appointed by then-Governor Carl Gutierrez to fill the unexpired term of Vice Mayor Joaquin Tapazna. Our condolences and sympathies go out to his family. Well, please stay tuned. Sports is next.
Agent Alpha. What's that? An Alpha Insurance customer needs a claim settled immediately? I'm on it. Agent Alpha.
In the event of an accident, theft, or breakdown, each of our Alpha Insure agents are trained to go above and beyond.
This is my stop. There she is. Target acquired. Agent Alpha.
Yes!
Green Energy Solutions, Inc. would like to congratulate GU Self-Storage along with Calvo Enterprises in doing their part by going green with a monthly power reduction by over 80%. Power consumption before installation was 39,700 kilowatt hours. After installation ended in 6,221 kilowatt hours, which resulted in savings over $10,000 a month. GESI also offers LED lights, solar thermal VRF air conditioning, and solar photovoltaics. Visit our website and let us help you save. KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. We get the show started tonight with highlights from the GSPN Boys Basketball Tournament played at the Jungle in Mingilao. Check it out. Friars looking to hold it down on their home court against the Ukadu Bulldogs. Isaiah Pelkey with the assist off the inbound, setting up Colin Santiago on the deep ball. Ukadu's Kobe Santos driving left, draws the defender over for help and dumps the ball off to Rylan Cahigal. Bulldogs trailed 17-8 after the first quarter. John Michael Lorena finds Santos open at the free throw line for the short jumper. Pelkey with another dime to Christian Leon Guerrero. After an Ukadu turnover, Friars adding to their lead. Bulldogs answer back the other way. Cahigal calls for the ball in the paint. and gets the turnaround shot to go down low. FD going with the high percentage shots. Elijah Garrido picks up his dribble and powers his way to the rack for a Friars score. Pelkey with the steal as Kevin Cabral loses the handle on the ball. FD pushing the tempo, another transition bucket here. Friars get the dub 65-42. Isaiah Pelkey switching it up, and instead of assisting, he's eating. Pohnpei, Coast Rai, CNMI, and Guam are all competing for a chance to be crowned King of the Diamond. The third annual Micronesian Baseball Classic got underway yesterday at the Paseo Stadium. In the first game of the day, CNMI picked up the 7-0 shutout win over Coast Rai. Jose Lezama earned the win on the mound, recording 7 strikeouts in 7 innings. The Micronesian Classic plays only 7 innings, with the 10-run rule in effect after 5 innings. Darian Jones was 2 for 3 at the plate for the NMI with an RBI. Teammate Nathan Smith finished 1 for 2 with an RBI. Team Guam beat Pohnpei in the later game 7-2 to start the tournament off at 1-0. Starting pitcher Gavin Lim picked up the win, recording 2 strikeouts. Relief pitchers Pete Paris picked up 2 strikeouts. Sean Cruz also came in and recorded another 2 strikeouts. Jared Palomo was 1 for 2 with 2 runs and an RBI. Ethan Lezama finished 1 for 2 with a run. This year's tournament is sponsored by Guam Major League Inc. and the Department of Parks and Recreation. Games will be played Wednesday through Friday at 12 and 3 in the afternoon daily. The games are $2 for general admission. The Guam Football Association officially announced the appointment of professional coach Sang-Hoon Kim as the organization's new technical director and women's national team head coach following approval from FIFA and AFC's respective technical divisions. Kim, who holds an AFC professional coaching diploma, the highest international coaching certification in Asia, previously worked with GFA from 2006 to 2009 and again in 2014 to 2015.
The phone you want now on the best network and a plan that gives you endless data on chat, social, and music apps. Tell your Docomo Pacific rep you want now with access. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply.
Yellow is our sun. Blue is our ocean. Green are beautiful trees and flowers. Brown is our land and our people.
This is our island. Yes, Lata.
This is my island. This is my island. This is my island. We are Guam!
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Now here's your birthday shoutouts. All right, everybody, happy birthday greetings going out to Tony Flores Kineni from his wife Julietta, sons DeMarco, Tony Ryan, and Kyle. Also, happy birthday tonight to Alex Tanayan. Happy birthday, Alex, from all of your friends and family, including us at KUAM. And happy birthday wishes to Clara Calvo. To everybody who had a birthday, have a great day. All right, good stuff coming up next. Please stay tuned.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Green Energy Solutions, Inc. Visit GESIGuam.com or call 647-8111 for more details on how we can help your business save money. home, and lifestyle. Presented by Paradise Fitness Center, changing lives since 1996.
Hey, and half a day, everybody. I'm Jason Salas, and this is Health, Home, and Lifestyle, which first one of the new year, so that means Jen Artero is up first. She's leading off in the batter's box, and she has got this week's installment of Health Check.
Health Check with Nurse Jen is presented by Island Cancer Center.
Hafa Guahusi Nurse Jen. What if I told you that snacking is good for you, but it's gotta be smart snacking? Smart snacks help you boost your energy between meals to curb your appetite and supply important nutrients such as vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Smart snacking means that you intentionally choose healthy foods from the SMART 4 food groups. To get the most from your snacks, try to include at least 2 of the 4 groups daily. These are proteins, grains, vegetables, and fruits. And of course, it's dependent on your need at this moment, at this time. Is your end goal to gain weight, lose weight, or maintain weight? First, you gotta start with checking the calories. Some low-calorie snacks that is easy for everyone to eat could include an apple with peanut butter, popcorn, grapes, wheat crackers with cheddar or Colby cheese, yogurt, and my go-to nuts. A quick tip about beverages and snacks is to keep in mind that calories add up quickly with beverages that contain sugar and fat. To quench your thirst when smart snacking, try to mix equal parts of water with your fruit juice or your flavored water or your smoothie, or maybe just drink plain old-fashioned water. It's important to choose your snacks wisely. Some snacks such as chips, candies, cookies, and bread, rolls, they all have added fat, sodium, and sugar and can be very high in calories. Try to plan ahead. Pack your fruits and your veggies in a Ziploc bag for easy transport. Avoid mindless snacking. Try to eat snacks without doing anything. Just enjoy that chewing moment. Snack only when you feel hungry, not when you're bored or stressed. Always keep portion control on your mind before you start snacking. Eating directly from the bag or the package or the container could easily lead to overeating. Also, you're gonna wanna check out the package labeling. Some labels boast to be a healthy version of whatever you're looking for, such as those energy bars, the microwave popcorn, and the trail mix. But truthfully, maybe many of these are loaded with calories, saturated fat, high sodium, and added sugars. Everyone benefits from smart snacking. Toddlers, teenagers, mom, dad, nana, tata. Ultimately, because these snacking tips helps all of us curb our hunger growling belly and prevents overeating. Happy holidays. I'm Jen Artero, registered nurse, reminding you don't wreck yourself, health check yourself.
Health Check with Nurse Jen is presented by Island Cancer Center.
Stay tuned. We're back after this.
At Island Cancer Center, we treat our patients and their families like our family. We have all been touched by cancer, and it is important to feel comfortable and secure under the care of our health professionals. You can count on us for skilled cancer specialists, the most advanced cancer-fighting technology on the island, and a commitment to caring for you or your loved one with compassion, respect, and empathy. Our family, treating your family.
Island Cancer Center, located on Guam Medical Plaza. Visit us at islandcancercenter.com or call 646-3363.
We're excited to introduce Cars Plus 2.0 as we celebrate our 20th anniversary. Every moment has led us to push the standards of the automotive experience, from our state-of-the-art facility to world-class products. And now, we're proud to launch Guam's first and only lifetime warranty. Head on down to Cars Plus and ask about our lifetime warranty. We're driven by you and driven to be better.
Hafide, and welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm Jason Salas. Thank you so much for streaming us or watching us on KUAM TV once again. It is a known fact, my friends, that the Academy Cougars are athletes. That has always been a hallmark of the Academy of Our Lady of Guam, and they want you to get fit and have a lot of fun doing it too. Mary Meeks is here. Hafide Mary, very good to see you again.
Good to see you too, Jason.
Welcome back to Harmon.
Thank you for having us here.
Of course, you know you're always welcome here, and Happy New Year to you and to the Cougar family.
Thank you very much.
Of course. And one of the members of the student body, a very distinguished one, I might add, as I've come to learn, is Cirilla Rapadas. Hafide.
Hi.
And you're a senior, right?
Yes, I'm a senior.
Graduating senior. Okay, we were just talking about this off camera, but where do you plan to go to college when you were done at Academy?
Well, we're waiting for like all the offers and stuff, but it's probably between St. Mary's or Notre Dame.
Nice. Well, we wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you very much.
But your work here on Guam is not done yet. You're going to be
Definitely
a cougar.
not.
You're going to be a cougar for life, and of course, one of the hallmarks of that is always giving back. So,
For sure.
you guys have one of your fitness events coming up. Please tell me all about that.
Yes, we do. We have our 2K, 5K fun run on the 18th of this month. And this is something that we've started. This is the 18th year. And so we would like to just invite people. It's the beginning of the year. You know how they all have all these different New Year's resolutions and things. And we thought, okay, let's get fit. Let's get started on the new year. But it's also a family event. We want to invite everyone to come out. This is an event that we use as part of our fundraising for scholarships and for tuition assistance. People are, would be surprised that at the Academy, we have students who can use the tuition assistance. And so it's like, if you want to be here and be part of our family, then we'd like to be able to offer what we can. And so we have that possibility. And so these are part of the fundraising ideas that we sponsor.
Well, I happen to know, and both of you can jump in on this as you see fit, but one of the big traditions is past classes all coming in and participating. All the girls they get into, you've got class of 72, class of 92, class of 02. They come in and, they all work together. There's a little bit of, sibling rivalry there because everybody's proud of when they graduated, especially class of 91. I know a lot of those ladies. But how does it feel to be able to, this is your senior year, obviously, like that, you're doing this with your classmates. You're going to be doing this for, the next 40 years. But, you see the old Academy graduates come back and everybody works together. But as Mary just said, you guys are all one big family.
I think it's really, really great, especially during the event, just to see everyone come together to give back to a community that has given so much to our island and our island's women. And it's really great just to feel the sisterhood and to see the passing of the torch. And everything about the 5K is just really great, especially seeing everyone come together.
Okay, but you're also going to get a lot of competitive running athletes, and there are many on Guam.
Yes.
So what is the route? Every time we talk about 5K races, we always talk about the route.
It's the same route that we have.
There we go.
You can pick this up. It's where we start between PDN building, the old PDN building and Academy, and then it goes all the way down to the West
O'Brien Drive.
West O'Brien Drive, all the way down to 9th Street Chodi store, and then coming back down through Marine Drive and all the way down to Bank of Hawaii.
Okay, well,
and then Route
when
4.
I'm running in this, do I get docked for points or will I be penalized in any way if I stop at Chodi's store and pick up some empanada? Because you got to do that.
It's the time that's going to affect you, not us.
We'll make another live. We'll do that when the actual race is over. Okay, so that's a very challenging course, and it's also very, very scenic. It's very breezy because you've got the cliffs on one side, you've got all the foliage on the other.
It's cool.
And that's a fantastic way to get exercise with your friends.
The other thing that you mentioned is we have this tradition now where we celebrate our class that's having their 50th reunion. And so like this year's the class of 70. So with the passing of the torch, I'm part of the class of 69, so my class will be there, representatives will be there to pass the torch to the class of 70 as they celebrate their 50th year since the time they graduated from the Academy.
What does that mean to you and how much are you looking forward to that?
Well, I'm looking forward because it's like, okay, we're passing it down to our sisters at the next grade level, and basically that's what it makes me feel is it brings me back home where I'm a graduate of the Academy. It's been 50 years. Can you imagine? 50 years in a young person's life. It's like, how am I going to be? What am I going to be doing at that time? Where will I be? And so this is something that we celebrate. We want to recognize them. But we also, in that celebration, before we do the passing of the torch, we have a moment of silence to recognize and remember all those of our loved ones who have passed on.
Of course.
Yeah, we want to let everyone know that they're still part of our life. And so this is speaks of the sisterhood that we have at the Academy.
Okay, well, people right now, I can guarantee you on the other side of that camera, they're chomping at the bit and they're like, okay, sign me up. I want to help. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'm going to register all my classmates, everybody from my church group, my entire family. Where can they register?
They can register either at the school, they can register over at Bix, Royals, Goodies, right? And they can do that up and through Thursday the 16th, or they can register online at on our website, and that they can do all the way through Friday.
Very nice. Okay, but make sure you get your registration in early. Don't do
Yes.
tomorrow time on this one.
Yeah.
Punctuality is right up there with godliness. Okay, so Cirilla, as a member of the class of 2020, do you guys actually get to run, or have they already got you guys? You guys are going to be working the whole time?
Well, I think it depends on the student. A lot of students end up running the 5K, but a lot of us also end up volunteering. So everyone's pretty excited to either volunteer or run the 5K. I actually talked to one of my classmates that was deciding whether to volunteer or run, but she was just so excited to participate either way.
Now, you've been back in class since Monday. You know,
Yes.
Christmas break is now over. This is the latter half of your senior year. And so with these memories that you're now building and, you know, the last few activities that you have as a class, what does this mean to you and the other seniors?
I think that it just brings us into reality that our senior year is ending, especially since we're entering the second half. And we're just trying to spend each moment together in events like the 5K or Songfest or anything like that. We're just making the most out of everything.
Well, as the administration always says, you guys are one family and you're never going to be far apart.
Definitely.
You're always going to be together. And it's great to see that tradition continue. So thank you very much,
Yes.
Mary. Thank you, Cirilla. And
Thank
we'll see you at the race.
for having us here. Yes.
All right. Happy New Year to you both once again.
Happy New Year.
And please stay tuned because we are back right after this.
Start your day the KUAM way with our new streaming shows on Facebook Live each weekday. Here's your starting lineup. Mondays will give you a glimpse into our morning meetings with the KUAM news team. Tuesdays, join our group chat with Chris Barnett. Wednesdays, it's crime time with the island's law enforcers. Thursdays, get the latest info with Dave Delgado, who's in the zone. And Fridays, we get Fit AF, fitness and fun. And the best part, all our shows are completely interactive, so you're directly part of the conversation. Join us Monday through Friday starting at 9 a.m. Start your day the KUAM way.
Starting lineup is presented by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
And now, here are regional headlines.
Hafa-Day Guam, here are the headlines for CNMI.
We requested quite a lot of documents, and so we're looking at taking a comprehensive view of the expenditure patterns of the governor in terms of charges related to travel, first-class travel in particular, housing and utilities allowances, reimbursements over the course of several years since he was lieutenant governor, really, and then expenses related to official representation. And then we're also looking at the policies of the government that are supposed to govern these types of expenses and whether or not taxpayers should really be footing the bill.
Many receipts and documents have been disclosed pertaining to the governor already, raising many questions.
And the Constitution, the law are very clear that public money should only be used for public purposes. And if there are expenses that are personal or political, or if there are expenses that are fraudulent even, but the people need to be held accountable for that. And at this point, we want to get the records. We want to examine them, do an impartial and objective job of analyzing what we get, working with the experts. We do want to reach out to the Office of the Public Auditor as well, working with their auditing team, and then present a report and our findings and recommendations. If there are loopholes in the laws, then those loopholes need to be closed.
It's a very difficult time. We want to start off the new year being happy and positive, but at the same time we have a job to do, reluctantly or not. It's not easy. There's obviously, some who are upset that we're even looking into this. It's something that some of us don't want to do, but we have to do. And again, we've written this in our letter, that the governor is presumed innocent. He has due process, and we are affording him the opportunity to explain these documents and other things. You know, this is not something where we're going to go in and just slam somebody on it without ensuring that we have evidence. And that's something that is one of the reasons why some of us have been either quiet or haven't been coming out and really commenting on it.
Sablon says members of the Ways and Means Committee and the Judiciary and Governmental Operations Committee will be reviewing all the documents, along with the House minority, to determine if there has been a misuse of public funds.
It is the job of the legislature to put a check on that, and at the very least to investigate and report back to the people about what we find and the actions that we'll be taking.
Sablon says January 22nd is the new deadline for finance to compile all the documents and receipts.
For more news, visit saipantv.com. For KSPN2, I'm Ashley McDowell.
Good job, Ashley. Thanks so much for the news. Stay tuned. Remax is up next.
Community Calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Más. Join us in saluting those making strides and serving in our armed forces every Tuesday on the KUAM News Instagram account. These weekly posts round up profiles of Guamanians receiving accolades in the armed forces, those stationed on Guam making a difference in our community, and veterans being recognized for their service. Presented by Future Smiles Orthodontics. Build a brighter future with a brighter smile. House to Home, presented by Remax Diamond Realty.
Welcome everybody to House to Home, the segment here where we always get it right the very first time out. And Gina is here from Remax Diamond Realty. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Jace.
You know, I'm curious about something. You and Liz, who is not here right now, she is skiing, enjoying the culture, the history of Japan and everything like that.
Yeah, she is.
But that allows you to have the spotlight, very deservedly so. But you know, you always talk about in the real estate industry, you guys have your code of ethics. And ethics are subjective. Ethics are subject maybe to change over time and everything like that.
They've grown with the industry, definitely. But, you know, our preamble starts with, under all is the land. And that's kind of what I wanted to start with.
I like that.
I wanted to start that with the new year.
Okay.
You know, we recapped last year about how the market's been and what it's doing. And we've talked a little bit about, you know, the cost of homes and the cost of rentals here in Guam. And I think the most important thing and how we could begin this new year is to talk about selling your property. Because if people want something a little bit more affordable, I think building is the way to go.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting how you say below all is the land.
Below
all, that makes sense.
Below all is the land.
So literally that is your foundation.
Absolutely.
Your bedrock, or I guess on Guam, your limestone. Mm-hmm. And this kind of dictates the way you guys do business, the way you guys service your customers, the way you interact with realtors, even from other agencies and other brokerages, right?
Yeah, it does, because it does begin with the property. It does begin with the land. And so I wanted to kind of focus on people that are looking to sell their properties this year. Mm-hmm. What should you think about? What do you need to put together?
Okay, I know I hear a lot of feedback that I get, and people say, okay, I've got land, you know, it's basically jungle right now. There's Tangantangan and Sakati and everything all over. You know, there's a bunch of rocks and everything like that. If I'm going to sell just purely the land and everything, is it incumbent on me to at least make it presentable?
Well,
does that change the value?
There are some basic things. Like if you called me and said, Gina, I'm interested in selling my property, there are some basic things that I'm going to ask you to do. The first one is make sure you have a copy of your latest recorded map. Okay? Mm-hmm. So if you don't already have that, if you have family that, you know, you and your family members have done things over the years, make sure that you go to land management, give them your lot number and say, you know, can I get a copy of the last recorded map on this property, this lot number? So make sure you have that. And then the next thing that I'm going to encourage you to do is to run the title report. Remember, we've talked about this. Your title report, to me, I always explain it to people, it's like an x-ray. It gives you an overall picture of what's going on with the property. And some landowners who already know what's going on with my property, well, sometimes things happen that you don't know about. You know, so the title report kind of gives you the big picture of what's going on with your property. And it's always just safe to make sure you have a report so you know, do you have delinquent taxes that you weren't aware of? Are there any liens that have been recorded on this property that you're not aware of? And we've run into that
And
over
this
the years.
goes far beyond just the topographical information, like, okay, what's the elevation and, you know, what's, you know, is it above the water table?
And see, those things you don't normally run into just in your normal day-to-day general, I want to sell my property, elevation, topography, you mentioned those two. Those are a little bit, you know, outside the normal thing that I ask people to get. So I ask them to get their map, I ask them to get the title report, and I do ask them, listen, if you're going to go to land management, if you don't already have your map and you're going to go land management, confirm your zoning. Because a lot of people come to me and they say, oh, this is, like the map will say, it'll have a lot number and it'll say -R2, and they believe that you can build apartments on it because it says R2. No, that's just your lot number. Doesn't mean that that's what you can do. So you need your map. We need to identify based on the zoning what you can really do on the property because that affects value. And then the next thing I want you to do is, you said prep the property. You know, you mentioned it earlier. What can we do to prep the property,
Me and a couple of my friends, we bush cut for a few hours, or, you know, we just clean it up.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Jace, because, you know,
I
the
have
thing
never
is,
seen you smile that, I mean, you got a little snarky.
yeah.
You know,
Because you know what? You do not know how often we get, some of our owners are off island. All they do is email us the map and they say, here it is, can you sell it? When I have a map, it's not even like having a picture of you so I can take that picture and walk into a crowded room and say, there's Jace. All it is a drawing of the lot and how it's described legally. So if the owner were willing to, number one, mark the survey points, and yes, it's going to cost money. It's gotten really pricey to mark survey points, but what is the best way to identify property so that you can sell it to someone? Best way is to get the boundary points marked. So when I take them to that street, I can say, listen, the property's from here to here. If it's in the jungle, like I just sold a piece of property that's literally in the jungle. So the road's there on the map, but it's not physically open. So we had to hike in. I hiked in with a contractor, and for an hour, he kind of, you know, we were trying to figure out which direction do we hike, because it's on the map where the easement is, but you got to figure out physically where it's located.
And I'm sure you didn't mind going out to like the clothing store, you know, ordering something online and getting like your hiking outfit, right?
Oh, we have our hiking outfit. It's always ready to go.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm sure.
I would hike in, you know, I literally have hiked in my skirt, just put on a pair of tennis shoes.
Really?
And I'm good to go, yeah.
Look that up on YouTube, everybody. That's going to be like interesting.
The next time we have to hike, I'll make sure we videotape that.
Okay, excellent. We will basically show that as a segment. Okay, so we're running out of time, but we just want to wrap up here. Is there what are the most common questions, I guess, that you get? Because you've seen it all, right? When it comes to land, people come to you with every single question under the sun. What is the number one question you get the most often?
Are utilities there? Honestly, that is the question of the year. Are the utilities there so I can build right away? And that, I think, deserves its own episode.
Okay, so next time when we meet, we'll talk about that, and possibly even talk about the fact that I would rather have Wi-Fi than water. But that's just me. Okay,
that's just you.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can't flush a toilet with Wi-Fi. Just saying.
We'll discuss that. Okay, and we will have that and many more very odd topics when we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Green Energy Solutions, Inc. Visit GESIGuam.com or call 647-8111 for more details on how we can help your business save money.